Abu Tamale, it never crossed my mind that I will one day stand before you to address this august house in this. The young people out there should therefore know that, especially those sitting in the public gallery, that it is possible with hard work. It is possible with hard work, dedication, and by the grace of God, all of you have limitless opportunities to serve our country. Mr. Speaker, the last 2 years have been extremely challenging globally, and Ghana has not been an exception. The difficult economic environment has truly affected businesses and families, particularly the vulnerable in our society. These challenges have severely affected households, increased cost of living, and limited the creation of job opportunities. Our young people continue to seek employment opportunities beyond what the state can provide. Mr. Speaker, it has indeed been a difficult time, and I deeply empathize with our fellow Ghanaians.
He assured, however, that the economy is making a strong recovery.
Mr. Speaker, over the last 2 years, government has embarked on a number of decisive measures to get us back on the path of fiscal consolidation, economic stability, and growth. And I'm happy to note that these policies we have implemented are yielding the expected results. Growth continues to exceed our expectations. The 4.7% growth rate reported by the Ghana Statistical Service for the first quarter 2024 exceeds the 3.1% recorded in the same period in 2023. Inflation is declining. End June inflation rate of 22.8%, a reduction of 31 percentage points from the December 2022, which confirms the target of 15% by end 2024 is possible. Exchange rate has largely stabilized compared to December 2022, despite the recent pressures. The 18.6% depreciation rate to the US dollar as of June 2024 represents an improvement over the 22% recorded for the same period last year. And gross international reserves reached 3.1 months of import cover as at end June 2024, against 2.5 months of import cover in the same period last year. Mr. Speaker, it is evident that we are on the right trajectory. The economy is rebounding stronger than anticipated. The choices we've made and the policies we are implementing are yielding results. We've reversed the negative trends. All the indicators are looking better. I want to assure you that we will stay on this path and continue to make the right choices. Our economy is recovering, and the recovery is fast and strong.
Well, shortly after the finance minister was done with presenting the mid-year budget review, the majority leader stirred controversy by accusing the NDC minority side of not being ready to debate the substance of the budget. Listen to Afenyo Markey.
Mr. Speaker, the minister has told us that the country must be rest assured the economy is in competent hands. The economy is in the hands of those who understand how to bring back an economy. Mr. Speaker, they have nothing to say, and I'm cautioning the minority leader who is likely to get up after me that don't introduce unnecessary debate. Limit yourself to the facts, because the rules, Mr. Speaker, per the rules, he is not supposed to debate. He should know that. In any event, if they are ready for us to comment, Mr. Speaker, we are ready today. Yeah. We want to comment on the minister's statement, but looking at them, they are not ready. Mr. Speaker, looking at them, they are not ready. You guys are not ready. I can see from your faces. You are not ready. Mr. Speaker, they are not ready for the statement, the comment on the statement. Mr. Speaker, they are not ready. They are not ready. So, Mr. Speaker, we know that now they are studying Eastern economy.
Yes.
They've been to Russia to study how the Russians do their things. We are also here. We are looking at local
please,
issues.
I see the honorable member for Olote Kole.
And that started this whole controversy on the floor shortly after the finance minister presented a mid-year budget review. The minority leader then stood up to respond, and he says this budget is an indication that the government is on autopilot. He says he was expecting, and Ghanaians were expecting, that the finance minister will announce measures to ease the hardship he himself acknowledged as part of his presentation today.
At the very least, Ghanaians expected that this media review would have removed or abolished a number of taxes. A number of taxes that has made Ghana a high tax regime to the extent that businesses are moving out of our country and the ordinary Ghanaian is actually leaving the shores of this country. For example, COVID levy, e-levy,
Yes.
boiler tax, tax on domestic electricity, emission levy. Mr. Speaker, this is a missed opportunity. This is a missed opportunity. Mr. Speaker, instead, the minister did not announce one single new policy. The minister did not introduce new ideas. Mr. Speaker, unfortunately, Ghana is on autopilot. Our economy is on autopilot. Mr. Speaker, I'm shocked today to have noticed that Appendix 2A, page 107 of the Minister's Media Review and Economic Policy. This government has already missed IMF program already. Mr. Speaker, they have missed the target already. Mr. Speaker, I refer you to Appendix 2A above the line. Arrest clearance. Arrest clearance. Above the line. This government, contrary to the IMF program that we should not accumulate any arrests, have accumulated new arrests worth 4.5 billion Ghana cedis. And you are here saying what? That we have. Mr. Speaker, let me read. Mr. Speaker, let me read. Let me read. Arrest payables. Arrest clearance. Mr. Speaker, in the original budget, this government has programmed zero for the first half of the year. Meanwhile, in the media review, Appendix 2A, provisional, they have actually incurred new arrests worth 4.5 billion. And you are saying what? The Speaker, we are ready to debate now. Now. The Speaker, let me assure him that, the Speaker, we are ready. The troops are here. Honorable Adongo is ready. Honorable Tinapo is ready. Honorable Ampin is ready. Mr. Speaker, at the moment, we have 10 members ready to debate now. Today. Mr. Speaker, I am not surprised. But all what I want to tell them is that they are bereft of new ideas, and that I'm happy that they sang Abemerie, you're on your way to opposition. So, Speaker, I second the motion.
Joining me on the line now is Stephen Amwa. He's a Deputy Finance Minister. Also joining me is Isaac Adongo. He's a ranking member on the Finance Committee. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time here on Top Story. Stephen Amwa, let me start with you. What's new in this mid-year budget review?
Thank you very much, Evans. My regards to our listeners and viewers this very morning. Sorry, this very evening, forgive me. Honestly, I was surprised when the minority leader, my own brother and friend, Dr. Toposi, made that statement. I'm sure that I don't believe that he made that just for political reasons. Because this is a media review. We did not even ask for any supplementary. And then if we check the appropriation, they are just spending within our appropriation with even some margins left. So for him to ask or to make this statement that new ideas and new policies and stuff like that, I'm surprised because just what we are spending within the already appropriation that they have approved. And
but the point he made substantively, though, is if you acknowledge, and the finance minister did so today, and actually says he empathizes with Ghanaians who are suffering because of the economic crisis. If you acknowledge that, then you must necessarily go to the next step of providing us some relief. That's the point he's making.
providing what?
Some relief. If you acknowledge that we're suffering, where the finance minister acknowledges and says, I empathize with Ghanaians who are going through this crisis, where's the relief?
But that is the reason my able minister, Dr. Ami Adams, recently we launched the SME with we are committing about 8.2 billion, for the SME to ensure that we create jobs and also create relief for entrepreneurs in Ghana. It's unprecedented in the history of this country. The one that we just launched, we launched the SME growth opportunity to provide financial and technical support to the SMEs. We've done a lot. We've disbursed about 5.4 billion Ghana cedis to support LEAP, school feeding program, capitation grant, NHIS since January 2024 to reduce the burden on the vulnerable in our country. Is this not relief? What relief? And even the fact that we did not ask for, we did not even introduce or increase any new tax. We are spending within our appropriation. So what kind of relief today is really even when he is aware of the fact that we have indicative targets to be met. And of course, that calls for extra discipline in consolidating your fiscal space, which we've done so much well. If you compare us to, 3 countries such as Chad and then you're talking about, I think, Zambia or so. If you check, I don't deal with country to country. I deal with averages. If you even check the averages, you check that Ghana has really, really been doing well. So there are a whole lot that we've done to bring relief to Kenyans. And it's a fact. You look at the social intervention policies and entrenchment in terms of funds that we have applied to them. And talking about this SN, we are using EXIM and then GEA and then the development banks to make sure that a number of Kenyans who are into their own business and want to start new businesses or they are entrepreneurs, just to enrich the entrepreneurial ecosystem and strengthen that. We are giving a whole lot. So I'm surprised what my brother said, but trust me, the fact is that the immediate need is to consolidate recover fully or stabilize the economy, which we've done that. You look at all the indicators for inflationary rate from growth, we are growing about 4.7 first quarter. Beyond the final revise of 3.1, you see inflation from almost 54.1 to about 22.8 end of June that we are talking about.
And I see those indicators repeated in the media budget review statement that was read by the finance minister. Stay with me. I want to bring in Isaac Adongo. Mr. Adongo, they come to Parliament today to say government is going to live within its means. In fact, the finance minister announced they are actually proposing to reduce appropriation. What more can they do? Isn't that enough?
Come on, I didn't hear you, please.
This is to Isaac Adongo, by the way. He's with me. Hello, Mr. Adongo. Can you hear me?
Yes, can you hear you?
Great. They are proposing to reduce appropriation. They are going to live within their means. Isn't that enough?
Well, reducing appropriation is a technical term. We have an appropriation, which is an act. It's a law. So if you think that the amount of money that you are going to spend, you want to reduce it, you must come by law and get an amendment to the appropriation. As long as the laws provide, it means that it is the old appropriation you are working with, and so there's no sign that you are going to reduce anything. That is English. If you really mean to reduce the appropriation, you come for a new appropriation. It is an act. It's a law that has been passed. So you cannot say that you are going to live below the law and you think that is binding. That is not binding at all because you are simply staying within what was given you, and there's no evidence that you are reducing any expenditure. But let me also tell you that you already budgeted a lot of money for debt service, amounting to over 100 billion Ghana cedis. Now you have been forgiving some of the debts, but also the debt that you were supposed to pay or service this year is not going to be paid. Your debt service has been postponed to 2026. So what are you doing with that money? Okay, what are you doing with that money? It means that you are simply going to use that money, waste it on election, and a year from today, the people of Ghana will be asked to pay a lot of taxes once more. And so the debt service that we are not paying, we are not seeing it reflect in any serious policy measure.
But Mr. Dongo, I had him today.
My minority leader said.
I had him today list a whole
this,
raft of roads that they will complete with the monies that they have.
Oh, but those roads were already programmed. They are not new roads. They were already programmed in the budget. Okay? It is not as if suddenly you are going to do something extraordinary. It's already in the budget. So what are you doing new? Nothing. And in times like this, people want hope. They want to see some seminal measures that give hope, measures that are game changers. As we sat there, I was wondering whether we were going to see any change in our circumstances. In the end, the cedi is still selling at the dollar is already selling almost around 16 cedis to the dollar. We haven't seen anything that is bringing that down. We are already buying diesel and petrol across 15. Okay, you are not giving me any measures that will tell the ordinary Ghanaian that you are going to do something so significant and seminal that we should expect improvement in our life, except the English that you always speak. And any time you come to speak those English, we know the outcome. The outcome is misery, the outcome is hardship, and the outcome almost invariably is that you become debt distressed and you cannot pay your debt.
Let me point you to one.
When I listen to that,
let me point you to one item. There's one item that he mentions, though, that addresses part of the issues that you raised. He says the cabinet has approved the disbursement of an additional 1.5 billion cedis to settle outstanding claims relating to the financial management companies. At least that's something, is it not?
No, it's not new money. In the budget, find out how much did they budget for financial sector cleanup. They budgeted in excess of 5 billion for the financial sector, including the recapitalization of NIB. And you are talking about 1.2. That means you are even not close to half of the money that you need to solve the problem. And yet, that was what was budgeted, not 1.2. So 1.2 is not additional expenditure. It is not anything new. It is what you say you will do, that you are now reporting that, as we speak, your execution is far behind schedule and that you have failed in providing the finances upfront for the financial sector to be safe. How can that be an achievement? Didn't we budget for over 5 billion in the budget? Why is it now 1.2 after almost 7 months? Why are the financial institutions doing, those that needed the money to survive, how are they operating? And you are now here announcing that you can't even do 2 billion as of July. And you want us to clap for you for failing to resolve our financial sector issues? Is that what you're saying, Ivan?
Well, the Deputy Finance Minister is with me on the line. Sibinama, how do you respond to that question he's raising about this 1.5 billion?
In the first place, I think Honorable Mr. Adongo, my own brother, in my opinion, once again, is just trying to drum home some political capital. I am surprised if he really understands how economy of our nature or status is managed. He wouldn't even go what he was talking about. We came from a situation where, or a point where our economy was really, really having a negative trend. That our inflation rate was moving beyond 50%. Reserve went so low down. Our interest rate moved up. Our T-bills, everything went so bad. And it was global. I mean, most countries, we all know this. And then we had this whole indicative target arrangement with the IMF, that the first thing to do as a matter of priority to move this country forward is to stabilize the economy. And that was the first task. unless he doesn't, which I know he knows. I mean, respectfully, maybe he's trying to be intellectually dishonest. That our main, task, the priority of the presidency is to stabilize the economy, which of course he knows that all the indicators Ghana now stands very tall because we are doing so much work. And then even in that same situation, we've done our best to also make sure that poverty is dealt with. And we are actually committing, 8.2 billion to support the SMEs. They form about 90% of our market. Look at what we are doing. It's unprecedented. You even talked about the fact that, yes, we are giving, but you should also tell Ghanaians that when you talk about budget, that's why we have budget, we have actuals, and we have variance. So sometimes you even outperform your budget or underperform or perform your budget, or where you equalize or actuals will be equal to your budgeted, because you need to deal with uncertainty, prevailing issues. Nobody knew that, the world was going to go where it went.
Well, Mr. Amasa, you've made the point that your primary objective is to stabilize the economy.
The economic indicators are all pointing to positive direction that we are doing well, and all the social intervention policies. They are doing so much. Look,
yeah, you talk about doing so well, but just a second. You made the point about your objective is to stabilize the economy. I'm asking you, have you stabilized the economy?
That he's saying what he's saying.
Stephen, hello, Stephen.
Yes, my brother.
Have you stabilized the economy as we speak tonight?
Oh, of course. Let me tell you.
If you have, where's the evidence in people's lives?
No, but Evans, this thing that you're asking. If you look, our economy generally, our market, has less than one systematic risk index. If you want me to explain it technically to you, what it means is that our market is basically SMEs. And the relationship between that and the macroeconomic performance is very slow. It means that when the economy performs 10% up, the market will perform far below 1. And it will take a long time to impact people. So we are getting there. This is a fact. Unless maybe you don't want us to do the right economic diagnosis. It's a fact. So I agree to you that yes, there's still hardship. And that's what my minister demonstrated, the empathy that he did. I am telling you that the signals, the indicators that were actually scaring Ghanaians, threatening us, now are showing that there is hope. And we are on that trajectory. And it is a fact. And that is why we are also boosting, or we are doing a lot to bolster the SMEs and make sure that the ordinary Ghanaian who wants to do business, expand his business, employ other people, expand his supplies and other things to make sure that they also live good lives. We've given a lot to them. So, of course, people are still suffering just like any other country. But now, we've been able to manage this economy to the extent that there's hope. Unless we don't want to be honest.
Clarify this for me. You clarify this for me. You say in the statement.
No, I can't hear you too much. I beg
you. Can you hear me now? Is it better? Hello, Stephen Amwa. Can you hear me?
Yes,
I can hear.
I think it's becoming a little
great.
clear.
Great. Yes. Clarify this for me. You say in your statement today that you're proposing to reduce appropriation to 237.3 billion cedis. Explain that for me. How are you proposing to achieve this?
No, I think you know the appropriation is what has been actually approved by Parliament that we can actually spend. But if you're talking about you reducing your appropriation, what it means is that you are making sure that you cut down expenditures in certain areas within the appropriation. Okay, if we have even asked to spend more, asked for supplementary, that means we're going to spend even more, and probably beyond appropriation, and would have asked Parliament to vote on that, whether to approve the new expenditures or the expansion that we wanted to do, or the supplementary, which we did not. So what it means is that whatever they approved in the 2024 budget, that we have every right and discretion to spend. We are going to realign some of our spending techniques or the strategies that we are using to spend within, so that we didn't even move beyond that, so that our primary balance will stay on course.
And you're reducing, you're proposing. Just a clarity. But let's
expenditure and then
let's get to
deficit.
Let's get to some. let's get to some specifics, because your proposal is to reduce the appropriation to 237. You're just explaining that means you're cutting expenditure. Which specific areas are you cutting to achieve this?
Oh, hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
Can you hear me?
Loud and clear, yes.
Hello.
Yes. Stephen Amma, can you hear me?
Yeah, hello.
I can hear you.
I can hear you now. Ask me the question again.
Which specific areas are you cutting to achieve this reduction in appropriation to 237.3 billion? Okay. Unfortunately, struggling to hear me, but let's see if we can hear. I can bring in Isaac Adong. Mr. Adongo, on the point of stability, he says the economy has stabilized, and that if you look at the indicators, and the minister referenced that inflation is trending downwards, you have the growth even is going up. They've revised it now upwards. Isn't that positive, and that it's just a matter of time before we all begin feeling it in our pockets?
Evans, is it the first time you are seeing these people come to media and use first quarter results and end up showing that after the media they ended up in a reverse gear? Last year, when they came with media review, you recall that they told us the economy was growing at almost 4.2%. Where did we end at the end of the year? You rushed to 4.2, and then you put your economy in reverse gear and end at 2.3. Is that what you're saying? So these people, when they are coming to do media, don't trust those numbers, because those numbers, they don't mean anything. Okay? At the end of the year, you will see the true size of the flock. But I've heard him mention that they are spending on, what do they call it, social programs. Look, those are all in the budget for 2024. They are not new activities. It is not new money anybody is spending. So I'm saying that having spent all of that, how is that reflecting in our pocket? And you remember when you asked him to tell you how is that reflecting in the people's life, he was struggling. Because the people are struggling. It appears that they live in a different Ghana from the rest of us. It is difficult to live in Ghana. Ghana is one of the countries with very high cost of living. Then you have your minister appear to give you media budget, and there's nothing seminal, there is nothing strategic, there is no game changer to take home. I mean, and you are saying that you are surprised. You are surprised about what?
At least he
You said they have given you $8.2 billion. That $8.2 billion, you are not telling us how you are using that money. What are you going to use that $8.2 billion for? So at the end of the day, convert $8.2 billion by today's exchange rate. You are looking at additional expenditure, almost 60 billion Ghana cedis. Okay? So if we were to save off 60 billion resulting from just the debt restructuring, why will we still be struggling to pay taxes for a country that has just gotten a windfall of over 60 billion Ghana cedis? So you expected that they will begin to loosen things up, abolish some of the taxes, so that Ghanaians can immediately see the fruit from those activities. But we are not. As we are sitting here, if you leave here, Evans, and you go and sit at where they are playing draft, and you ask them, what did the minister say in Parliament? You will be surprised if anybody can remember one thing. Because there was nothing for anybody to take home. I mean, we are basically going to suffer for the next, up to the end of the year, with the prayer that His Excellency John Dramani Mahama will come and save us. No wonder you see their flag bearer now talking about, come and tell us how you help the poor. Come and tell us how you solve the problem of the youth. You say that you give them mobile phones and they'll pay 1 city, 2 cities, 2 cities. You think we are still in the era of one village, one dam, one day, and then we'll fall for it? You know that can never happen. Do you know how much an iPhone costs? If somebody is going to buy an iPhone 20,000 and be paying 1 city, 2 cities, you, Baumia, you would have actually gone to your fathers by the time the person finishes paying. And you think that will fall for this. This is the kind of budget and budget media review they have delivered. They have nothing to show the people of Ghana, and they are only here just because it is a requirement that they must meet. And it's the reason they came. I mean, they have nothing to tell us.
I mean, and you don't give the finance minister any credit for at least acknowledging the crisis and the hardship is imposed, and at the end, empathizing with us all.
Let me tell you, Evans Mensah.
Yes, sir.
They keep talking about Russia-Ukraine war. Didn't our president go to Russia, Ukraine? The people who are receiving the bombs, Didn't the president go there begging them for maize and feet? How can that be the problem? The people you claim, they bomb their country to affect you. Those countries that they have bombed them and they can't even have a place to sleep, they are the people that their economy is so better than you that the president is down there asking them to give him food to come and give to the people of Ghana. And you take this cock and bull story, they've messed up. And the people of Ghana are tired of the excuses. They should deal with the problem and stop the excuses.
Thank you very much, Isaac Adongo. He's a ranking member on the Finance Committee. Earlier, you heard Stephen Amma. He's the Deputy Finance Minister. I want to hear from you tonight on this matter. Later on here on Newsnight, which starts right now, we'll hear from the various associations. They've been monitoring this very closely to find out what's really in it for them. I'm talking about GUTA. I'm talking about the AGI. All of them have been keenly following what the Finance Minister has been saying today. We'll get your thoughts on this. But above all else, I want to hear from you. 055-1111-997. Also here on Newsnight, MPP chairman for Binduri attacked, vehicle burnt beyond recognition by unknown assailants, a situation which has heightened tension in the area.
Told me one man, he was holding a gallon. He moved straight with the gun to the car. While it was raining, he was knocking the windscreen, but his book open. Then he poured the gallon, a liquid inside, going to be paid to the inside the car and set it ablaze.
We're live in the area as the regional security condemns the act and vows to track the perpetrators down.
People of the Upper East region and the generality of Ghanaians must condemn such acts. It's unacceptable. I want to tell the perpetrators that if it is their intention to scare people, then they have failed.
Plus, the outcome of the RECSEC and DISEC meeting on current happenings in the area. Also, tonight, return to the classroom now, and July salaries will be restored. That's the revised call from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission to striking teachers of the colleges of education over the unpaid allowances.
We are in engagement with them, and let them go to work, and their July salaries will be paid. That is our position.
And we'll also bring you the very latest happenings within the police service as the president is assuring the administration that his administration is working tirelessly to address the housing needs of all security services in the country as he commissions 320 housing units in Accra today.
We will continue to work tirelessly to address the housing needs of all our security services and ensure that they are well equipped to save our nation.
We'll hear from the IGP, who has welcomed the gesture from the president, adding that the move will inspire his men to protect Ghana before, during, and after the upcoming elections.
And when we do all this, and we are able to deliver the elections in a manner that has never happened before in terms of its peace and security, Ghana will continue to be said to be a trailblazer for the rest of Africa.
More from the budget review on business later.
And in business this evening, government revises some key macro targets in mid-year budget, but maintains end of the year inflation at 15%.
And in sports, the Ghana Football Association cancels midweek games for the upcoming Ghana Premier League season in a bid to reduce the transportation burden on clubs.
You want to stay with us for more on that here on News Now. We have the latest from the world of business also for you. Send me your thoughts, 055-1111-997. We'll be hearing pretty shortly from those groups that have been monitoring the finance minister's address today. The AGI will join us, GUTA, also, plus your own views here on Newsnight. But I want to take you to Binduri now, where the MPP chairman in the Upper East region, Samuel Ayago Atuba, has been reportedly attacked and his car burnt to ashes by some unknown gunmen at his residence. The reason behind the attack is yet to be known, but security agencies are tightening up measures to track down the perpetrators as the situation has raised tension in the area. We can listen to the chairman narrate the incident.
Showed me one man, he was holding a gallon. He moved straight with the gun to the car. While it was raining, he was knocking the windscreen, but his book open. Then he poured the gallon, a liquid inside, going to be paid to the inside the car and set it ablaze. So when he did that, they asked him to lie down. They were lying down while they were firing the guns. So we were also inside. They were fighting now until we called, it was raining. So people couldn't come. But later security arrived. I called my MP. I called the DC was not going through. And the MP also called the security. They put both police and military arrived here. Then they had already dispersed. They had already run away. That was all that we saw. Thank you.
They saw that
there were four in two bottle bags. They were on the Max wedding long post.
And I'll take you there live pretty shortly, where this has now sparked some tensions there with people pretty shaking by what happened. If you need to see the pictures, it's on myjoyonline.com. The car bent really beyond recognition. My colleague who's been following this for us all day, Ambasori, joins us on the line right now. And reactions have been swift and fast, and the community has been led shaking by this. Even the MP also. You spoken to him? Hello, Albert.
Evans.
Yes. What has been the reaction to what has happened today from the ground?
Yeah, so for many people, this has come as a shock because over the last few months, we haven't heard of any disturbances in the Boko enclave. And so many people see it to be something surprising because this is coming on the back of, a time when we are very close to the election. And so some people view it as a political attack because it was a party-branded vehicle that was attacked. And so this is how many people are seeing it to be.
We've seen series of audios, people threatening to kill the women, threatening to attack us because of our political beliefs. So it wasn't surprising that this thing happened. I was not surprised at all because we knew that the way it started, it was going to lead to something because they have been inciting people and to be frank with you, from the leadership of the NDC in this constituency, from the PC, the chairman, the old chairman, all their leadership, anytime they have an opportunity to go to the radio, they will not stop associating the party, the government, to the Boko conflict. And to say that it's because of the MPP and anybody who wears the Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia's t-shirt should not be allowed to roam the Kusak area. So when this thing happened, I think that, just to repeat again, we were not surprised.
And there's been a high-level meeting today, Albesori, trying to get to the bottom of this. Is this a joint RECSEC and DISEC meeting?
Yes, so the regional minister, together with the regional police commander, visited the place this afternoon. And the regional minister has been talking about the fact that Boko, for a long time, has been peaceful. Remember, this is in Binduri, which is just a neighboring district to Boko. And so he feels that despite the effort that the RECSEC has done over the time to try and relax the curfew to make it easier for people to move around, something like this is happening. And he's calling on the people to give them information as the police begin investigations into the incident.
The people of this constituency, as well as the people of the Upper East region, and the generality of Ghanaians, must condemn such acts. Day and era, we still have people engaged in such barbaric acts. All of us, the people of this constituency, as well as the people of the Upper East region, and the generality of Ghanaians, must condemn such acts. It is unacceptable, and we should guard against the occurrence of incidents of this nature. Coming, we've seen what actually happened, and we want to tell the perpetrators that if it is their intention to scare people, then they have failed, because we are going to do everything within our means to ensure that within 48 hours, the perpetrators are identified and arrested. Already, we have directed the Ghana Police Service under the command of the regional police commander to initiate measures arresting the perpetrators. We have also directed the other security agencies to be on board so that things of this nature are nipped in the bud once and for all.
And that security meeting will get some clarity for you on the measures that they're currently rolling out in the part of the country, the Upper East region, where, if you're just joining us, the MPP chairman for Binduri, there, Samuel Ayaga Atogaba, has been reportedly attacked and his car burnt to ashes by some unknown gunmen. There's residents and it's fear that this may be a part of the political tensions building up ahead of the elections. So keep a close eye on that. If you live in the particular area, why don't you get in touch with us? Give us your thoughts. 055-11-11997. I'll be sharing your thoughts with the rest of the world today on that big story from Parliament, where the finance minister has been detailing what he believes to be the roadmap to full recovery. We've been hearing already from the finance minister today that the recovery is very, very strong. But he also told Parliament today that government will live within its means despite the imminent general elections. In his mid-year budget review statement to the House, Mohammed Amin Adam conceded the hardship imposed on Ghanaians by the current economic crisis and expressed his empathy.
I wish to also express my profound appreciation to you, Right Honourable Speaker and Honourable Members, for the immense support I have received since I assumed office as Minister for Finance. I will continue to rely on the full cooperation of the House as we work together to serve our country. Growing up as a young boy in Apawu, Tamale, it never crossed my mind that I will one day stand before you to address this August House in this. The young people out there should therefore know that, especially those sitting in the public gallery, that it is possible with hard work. It is possible with hard work, dedication, and by the grace of God, all of you have limitless opportunities to serve our country. Mr. Speaker, the last 2 years have been extremely challenging globally, and Ghana has not been an exception. The difficult economic environment has truly affected businesses and families, particularly the vulnerable in our society. These challenges have severely affected households, increased cost of living, and limited the creation of job opportunities. Our young people continue to seek employment opportunities beyond what the state can provide. Mr. Speaker, it has indeed been a difficult time, and I deeply empathize with our fellow Ghanaians.
And what do you make of that? I want to bring in right now Benjamin Yeboah. He's the Director of Welfare at the Ghana Union Traders Association, GUTA. Also joining me, Professor of Finance, Godfrey Bokwing, Professor at the University of Ghana, joins us also on the telephone line right now. Thank you, gentlemen, for your time here on Newsnight. I want to start with you, Mr. Yeboah. Did you hear anything in this budget that gave you hope? At least that's what we heard from the Deputy Finance Minister, that at least the foundations have been laid for all of you to feel the hope that things have turned a corner for good. Did you hear that today?
Well, thank you very much, Evans, for having me this evening. The point is, as you and I know, mostly media reviews, you don't hear much. There's not much deviation from what we know already. So truly to that, definitely this wasn't any new what we were expecting. It was one, we were expecting that there shouldn't be any introduction of any new taxes. And then two, we were also expecting that there shouldn't be increment in any taxes, which truly was what we heard. As for the hope, I don't know, because of the late starting of the presentation. I don't know if he said anything regarding our exchange rate, regarding our city. That is something I didn't really hear. Maybe you heard. Because that is a very thorny issue, and we want to hear more of that and what they are really doing as a ministry to help improve the strength of the city. We were told that the third tranche of the IMF loan will come in, and then that cocoa syndicated loan, and then other sources of funds will help strengthen the city so that we will not have the city chasing few dollars. I don't know. Maybe I might have missed that one.
I want to read to you. I want to read to you what he said about that. It says, quote, exchange rate has largely stabilized compared to December 2022, despite the recent pressures. The 18.6% depreciation rate to the US dollar as of June 2024 represents an improvement over the 22% recorded for the same period last year. So, as far as it's concerned, that is improvement, and this is all part of the recovery, which it says the country is on. The path to recovery.
Is that all that is said about the exchange rate? Because then I'll be surprised in the sense that this is using 2022, late 2022. Late 2022, we all knew or we know that it was really bad. The city fell so low. So using that as a benchmark to say it's an improvement, we don't see that much.
Well, I can tell you that the phrase exchange rate was used twice in the entire document. And the first time it was mentioned, it was just to tell us how the city performed against the other currencies. And the second time is for him to demonstrate to you that there has been an improvement.
The city might have stabilized, but look at where it is. It was around 11 CD plus to the dollar, and it went up to 15 plus. Now, today, it's around 15.5. Yeah, so it's hovering around that side. And we don't see that as an improvement. Because even it has affected the people's, inputs in terms of businesses. People are still struggling. Businesses are still struggling. We are trying to, move within the system. Yeah, you might call that stabilization. But we would prefer that the city grows in strength. And we wanted to know the sources of funding that they were expecting. What impact has it come in? And if it has, what has been the impact? Because as it is now, you will see workers agitating for increment in pay because their take-home pay will not really take them home in the sense that prices are still high. We've not been able to reduce prices because the city dollar rate is not the best. And that is a very difficult thing. Here we are, we have fuel going up, and which is a problem because we wanted to see some proper impact in sense of things reducing so that it can translate into our prices so that it can then see some proper stabilization as he is calling it. But the way it is now, I think they really have a lot of work to do. These last 4 months, they really have a lot of work to do. So.
And thank you very much. And that day is Benjamin Yeboah, as the Director of Welfare at GUTA. Joining me also, as I indicated earlier, is Professor Godfrey Boffin. Prof, so you listen to the media budget review. Your immediate reaction?
Thank you very much, Ivan. Good evening to our cherished listeners. Well, yeah, there isn't much to learn from the media review. Actually, it's lying a bit flat, except to say that in our history, Evans, this is one of the most expensive and pricey economic recovery we have seen in our life. And this recovery we are celebrating is not people-centered. It's not people-focused. So we still have a long way to go to make sure that this stability, this growth we are talking about begin to impact lives in a meaningful way. We are not there yet. So there's nothing to celebrate, actually. Even the reason I say there's nothing to celebrate and we need to sit up is that in 2018, Ghana was among one of the top 6 growing economies in the world. In early 2019, the IMF told us that Ghana's economy was the fastest growing in the world. Among those countries, that Ghana was one of them. If you look at the rate at which they are growing post-COVID, Ghana is far below, far behind. Again, Evans, if you look at this recovery and you look at the reality on the ground, if you look at poverty at the lower end, right, poverty has been increasing all the way up to 2026. Check the data. Poverty has been increasing. So this recovery is not people-centered. This is a recovery that has left millions and millions of Ghanaians far behind. So that is not recovery you can celebrate. Look, and I'm also saying that this is one of the most pricey recovery in our history. If you look at the price, the ordinary Ghanaian has to pay in order to have this recovery. The only people who are the real winners from this are the politicians and the elite.
I mean, how much credit do you give the finance minister? This is his first major, I guess, activity in Parliament as far as the constitutional provision is concerned.
I have a lot of respect for the minister.
And I'm asking that in relation to his concession and acknowledging that people are suffering and then offering empathy. How much credit do you give him for that?
The minister should ensure that level of humility he's portraying is manifesting across the entire government machinery. That's what we need. Let's walk our talk and talk our walk. And then again, if the minister was again of this view, we should see some kind of relief in the media review. Look, we have spoken about taxes and taxes and taxes and taxes. The fact that you are not adjusting the rate or introducing new rates doesn't mean you are actually helping businesses. Businesses are suffocating. Individuals are struggling. If you look at the inflation and the number of Ghanaians inflation has pushed into poverty, look, Evans, the reality is that we are paying a heavy price for this recovery, which, if we were mindful, it will cause us to be humble, okay, as we talk and interact with Ghanaians. The reason I'm saying so is that there are three different levels that we are paying for this recovery. One is through fiscal adjustment. If you look at the level of since COVID came, Evans, Ghana is one of the countries that have introduced more than 15 different tax adjustments and new taxes in our system. Check our VAT rate. Even though we are treating the state levy differently from the standard VAT rate, from the African outlook, it looks as though our standard VAT rate is one of the lowest. But if you consider the state levies, the ultimate incidence of that VAT on the consumer is more than 21%. It's one of the highest on the continent. The point is that, look, when we go through all of this, by the time we are done with the recovery, there will be no fiscal space at the household and business level to continue. How do you ensure continuity?
You've consistently asked that government must show that they really understand the depth of this particular crisis, the hole that they've dug us into. Today, the finance minister says, quote, they are proposing to reduce appropriation to 237.3 billion cedis. What's your understanding of that? How significant is this?
Well, I mean, certainly, of course, if you look at the discussion all this while, in terms of the political business cycle, they need to keep to fiscal discipline and all of that. We can say that is fine. But remember that we have gone through these paths, okay, where the ministers of finance after ministers have indicated that they will not overspend, they will not ask for supplementary estimates, they are cutting down the appropriation and all of that. But actually, the last quarter of the year, when the election peaks, that is where you see the excesses through state-owned enterprises and the rest of them. Okay, so of course, we can give them the benefit of the doubt, but there's a lot more that we have to do. And that is where I come from. And at the end of the day, the measures that have been announced are not people-focused. The recovery is not people-centered. It's not people-focused. Check whether there's any improvement in Ghana's performance when it comes to poverty, right? If you look at the international poverty rate at 2.15 USD, measured in 2017 purchasing power parity terms, as the IMF has indicated, this has gone up from 24.1% 2021 to 26.8% to 30.3% to 32.9%, and it's projected to reach 33.2% by 2026. Interestingly, Evans, lower middle income poverty is rather higher, from 47.5% to 50.2% to 55.3%, 68.7% to 59.4% by 2025. Please, if this recovery is not impacting people positively, it's not lifting millions of Ghanaians out of poverty, we are not there yet to celebrate.
Thank you very much, Professor Godfrey Bopwin there, Professor of Finance. I'll share your thoughts on this with the rest of the world pretty shortly, but let's get some further clarity on this proposed reduction in appropriation to 237.3 billion cedis. And I've just been joined by the Deputy Finance Minister, who we lost earlier on Top Story, with that clarity now. Mr. Amwa, thanks for your time here on Newsnight, and that's Stephen Amwa, is the Deputy Finance Minister. I was asking clarity earlier on when the Finance Minister announced today that you'll be proposing coming back to Parliament for a reduction in the appropriation to 237.3 billion. You explained earlier that that means that you're going to cut expenditure. I'm asking specifically, which areas will you be cutting?
Hello,
Mr. Amwa, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
I was asking which areas were you going to cut to accommodate this reduction in appropriation?
Not just cutting. I don't know whether that was the question you were asking.
No, that was the question I was asking you.
Talking about that appropriation, it was the interest rate, the external interest rate, and amortization. Those areas that we had them cut, because you remember we were giving relief because of our negotiations with these Euro bond holders and then the external official creditors. So we had the interest rate that were supposed to be spent within the appropriation that now we are cutting, and we are not going to do that. So that gave us the margins for what we're talking about. But in any case, Evans, I think the most important factor for us in what we are doing today, we have three areas. One, our ability to go back to the market. And that can be done only when our reviews are completed successfully. We've done the first one, the second one, we've done that. And in all, we have gotten over 1 billion, I think about 1.6, thereabout. Aside that, if we can also do something to also mitigate the hardship that we all know, the whole world, including Ghana, we are in, our citizens. And that is where we are considering about 8.2 billion for the people. So these are the areas we are looking at. We've been able to stabilize our economy, pass our indicative targets, making us go through our negotiations and debt restructuring, because debt was a very big issue. We've done that with the Eurobond holders, we've done that with the official creditors, and then, of course, even the DDEP, we are going through successfully. And we are showing signs of, successes and hope by the fact that most of the primary macro indicators, the underlying ones that were threatening us, are now really, really doing well. I think this is what we need to focus on. And indeed, we are doing that. You look at our primary balance, we are on course, showing that we are spending within, even on interest spending is not an issue now. We are spending within our revenue. And we also had areas that we are talking about. We have target of, I think, negative 0.2. I'm not holding the documents. And we're able to also meet that target. So these are the areas that we need to look at and see whether Ghana we are doing well or not. Not try and then by every means our opposition brothers want to pick something and muddy the waters and destroy the success story of Ghana that we are all having today. We are all happy about.
And Stephen Amwa will join me on PM Express later tonight. Stephen Amwa, thank you very much. He's a Deputy Finance Minister. He's going to be joining me on the show later tonight at 9 p.m. on the Joy News channel. He's going to be across our many social media platforms together with Guta, with AGI and others who have been monitoring this year's media budget review statement to see what really is in it for them. We'll be breaking it down. You want to join us with some more details on really where is government proposing to cut to accommodate this proposed reduction in the appropriation. We'll be delving a bit more into that. I want to join us for that at 9 p.m. on the Joy News channel. And right up to business, I will be telling you what's happening within the education sector, because return to the classroom now or your July salaries will not be restored. That's a revised call from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission to striking teachers of the colleges of education over the unpaid allowances, and that standoff is still raging. We'll get into that right after Mr. Sean is done with business. Hello, James. How are you?
I'm good. Yourself?
I'm great.
All right. So coming up in business this evening, government revises some key macro targets and media budget, but maintains end-of-year inflation at 15%. And the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies attribute consistent increase to non-performing loans to public sector workers who refuse to repay their debt and travel outside the country. The business news on Newsnight is brought to you by MTM Business, Kingdom Books and Stationery, Syntex Tanks, and Pepsodent Herbal and Chico.
Luxurious, affordable living is your right, and no one understands it better than BOT Properties. BOT Properties specializes in modern residential buildings and commercial office spaces. Our properties include the Equator, a 12-story made up of over 100 apartments near Accra Mall. Other Equator courts, we offer you the deluxe living experience with our top-of-the-range homes, high-quality homes built with style and precision to suit your lifestyle. The Equator Courts is a gated community with 2-story, 4-bedroom detached houses at Ogbojo, East Legon, near American House. Our office complexes include Zion House, Shiashi, East Legon, Zion House, Sofa Line Interchange, Kumasi. Our offices and apartments are for both rental and outright purchases at affordable prices and with flexible payment terms. Kindly contact us on 0257 960 919 or visit botproperties.com. BOT Properties, the new meaning of affordable luxury.
Son, we are so proud of you for setting up this hospital. I really love those hospital beds and waiting chairs. By the way, did you import them?
No, Dad, I didn't. I actually got them from Kingdom Books and Stationery right here in Ghana.
Wow. We also bought our office supplies, safes, executive desks and chairs from Kingdom, and they gave us expert advice on how to set up our office.
Guys, that makes 3 of us. I also got our sofa and bedroom sets, plus our dining hall furniture for our new home from Kingdom.
Wow, Mom, that makes 4 of us. I usually get my stationery items from Kingdom. And my teacher also mentioned that our classroom furniture was provided by Kingdom.
So there you have it. Whenever you're thinking about setting up an office or acquiring furniture for your home, etc., Kingdom Books and Stationery should be your first point of call. With over 40 years experience in the industry, we stock and supply a wide variety of globally sourced office and home furniture, stationery and equipment. Visit our head office, Osu Akwaje, or our office near the Osu Stadium. We're also in Tema Community 1, opposite Olam SHS, Kumasi KNUST campus, UCC Cape Coast, and now at the Marina Mall, Airport City. Or call us 0302 764101, 764209, or 762792. Visit our website www.kingdomgh.com.
Hey, so as for you, every day you are just pressing your phone. Why? Are they paying you?
They are, Oma. The more I use my MTN, the more points I get. And I can use those points to get airtime, data, and even discounts at shops and restaurants.
Hey, so that is why all of you are always pressing your phones. And you won't tell us, so that we too we can enjoy some.
Oh, ma.
There's always more to enjoy with MTN Rewards. Just keep talking, testing, and browsing all day, every day to collect your points and use it to redeem amazing offers and discounted freebies right away. There's so much available for you. So dial *550# and get your reward today. Let's go. Everywhere you go.
Kweku, have you heard what they are doing on MTN?
Choboy! Yeah. We have a new leader in town. OBRNT. Amanfo. Madam was Sibibri. When him say my baby, maybe mamu more charcoal for whiter teeth. More charcoal. Not only that, maybe mamu lemon. More lemon. Zinc for fresher breath. More zinc. And fluoride for stronger teeth.
Introducing the new President Charcoal packed with more power with a combination of charcoal and lemon for naturally whiter teeth. Grab yours now. This advert is FDA approved.
The luckiest.
*712#.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah.
Here's to the friends who dialed *712# and found no regrets. To the investors who struck gold. To the health workers who diagnosed luck with precision. To the tough guy who couldn't hold back his tears. To the passionate fan who couldn't contain his joy. To the seamstress who turned her hard-earned stitches into a bundle of happiness. And now, here's to you. Your next big win is right here.
Luck is everywhere. For everyone.
The dial star 712 hash. Now join in the luckiest winning celebration. Every 1st July 2024. Over dial star 712 hash. Now I can to tickets as a group, individual, and now even as a community. Now win is the car prizes are in the community draw or go for the grand draw on the 30th of November 2024. Unlock your luck with star 712 hash. Now join in the winning streak now.
The luckiest
Star 712 hash.
luck is everywhere for everyone. Yeah, the luckiest.
Welcome back to Business on Newsnight. I am James Ishan. Let's settle for the details. First off, government has announced some key revisions to the country's macroeconomic target for 2024, presenting the media budget in Parliament today. Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam said overall real GDP growth rate has been revised upwards from 2.8% to 3.1%. He stated that government has decided to maintain the end-of-year inflation target unchanged at 15%. Yes, Dr. Amin Adam.
Real GDP growth rate revised upwards from 2.8% to 3.1%. Non-oil real GDP growth rate is revised upwards from 2.1% to 2.8%. Growth in GDP deflator scaled down from 20.2% to 17.5%. Nominal overall GDP has been revised from 1.050 billion Ghana cedis, that is 1 trillion Ghana cedis, to 1.020 billion Ghana cedis. Non-oil GDP has been revised from 979 billion Ghana cedis to 977 billion Ghana cedis. End period head inflation remains unchanged at 15%. Primary balance on commitment basis is maintained at the surplus of 0.5%, and gross international reserves, including oil funds.
Meanwhile, minority leader and former Deputy Minister of Finance Dr. Atuforsen said keeping some taxes considered to be nuisance will continue to hurt private sector businesses.
Have burdened the ordinary Ghanaian and businesses with a number of taxes, making Ghana a high tax regime. These taxes include e-levy, COVID levy, an effective VAT rate of about 22%, a distorted value-added tax regime, a bad tin tax, a boiler tax, in other words, a sanitation levy, a high tax on petroleum product, an emission levy, a high import taxes, burdensome fees and charges across all sectors of the economy, and over 40 new taxes in the last 7.5 years. These burdensome taxes have made Ghana unattractive for investment and foreign direct investment.
And that was Minority Leader and former Deputy Minister of Finance, Dr. Atuforsen. Earlier was Finance Minister Dr. Mohamed Amin Adam. To some other stories, the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies is attributing a consistent increase in non-performing loans to public sector employees who refuse to honor their debt obligation and travel abroad. Executive Secretary to the association, Chunibo Akodio-Boakye, said this is posing significant operational difficulties to savings and loans companies. He spoke to Joy Business at the 14th annual general meeting.
Some people will come, they are teachers, they are nurses, they are doctors, they work in the government sector, and they qualify for the loan. And so long as you qualify, we for the benefit of the hindsight, we give you the loan. But immediately they take these loans, then you see them exiting the country. Especially the nurses for that regard. And so we are constantly monitoring these people. One of the things that we may want to suggest to other stakeholders is that the embassies, they need to also, if somebody is a government worker and he's exiting this country, maybe he's relocating, there should be an evidence that you don't owe. And if you owe, there should be an evidence that you have made reasonable provision to pay off your loan with your financial institution. Otherwise, we will be discouraging financial institutions from granting loans to this sector.
Chunibo Akodio-Boakye is the Executive Secretary of the Ghana Association of Savings and Loans Companies. Now to some cocoa-related story. The Ghana Cocoa Board is calling on farmers to adopt the recovery initiatives implemented to keep the cocoa sector thriving. Speaking on the sidelines of the 5th annual general meeting of Asetnapa Cooperative Cocoa Farming and Marketing Society Union District Extension coordinator of COCOBOD, Peter Nijani Antonio, said taking advantage of government initiative will help revive the ailing sector due to the illegal mining activities.
As COCOBOD is in the season of pollination, we will encourage the farmers to adopt the pollination to increase the use of pot so that they can benefit more from their various farms. With the little acres they have, they will be able to harvest more pot and then be able to enjoy much premium from the association. And I will also encourage them to expand their farms. We give free cocoa hybrid seedlings to the farmers each year, and we expect they will tap into it and then be beneficiaries of all COCOBOD interventions we are giving to the farmers.
Peter Nijani Antonio is the District Extension Coordinator of COCOBOD, and that's the end of Business News on Newsnight with me, James. Over to you, Evans.
And thank you very much, James. You're still live here on Newsnight. It's on Joy 99.7 FM. A few of your messages on our WhatsApp console now. Good evening, Evans. When the Deputy Minister says the indicators are improving, I thought you were going to ask him which indicators. The exchange rate, debt to GDP, unemployment rate are nothing to write home about, he says. Henry Kaswa says we have the men. We have the men as Ghanaians are in this serious economic crisis. I thought MPP's mantra of we have the men will bring some magic by alleviating the plight of the ordinary Ghanaians. It says listing hard. I hear the government repeatedly saying that they went to the IMF for budgetary support, so it is the best to stick to its plan to get funding from ongoing projects. And that from Steel there, Comrade Issa in Boku says the mid-year budget review is falling flat, leaving Ghanaians feeling disillusioned and without hope, is his thought there on the subject. And this one says, really please, if you watch a grilling of the U.S. Secret Chief in the regards to the Donald Trump assassination attempt, and you find the whole finance minister not telling us anything about more cedis changing to U.S. dollar and what he's doing about it, but rather recourse to sloganeering. It is possible. What level of, he says, incompetence is this? A few of your views on the stories we've done so far. Many of you obviously interested in the mid-year budget review. So live here on Newsnight on Joy 99.7 FM. Now return to the classroom now, or your July salaries will be restored. That's the revised call from the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission to striking teachers of the colleges of education who have been on strike since June 2024 over their unpaid allowances. With economic activities in limbo, the association has declared not to return to the classroom until government heeds to their demands. Love FM's Nana Wachi Yadom has more.
CTAG members initiated the academic walkout following unsuccessful negotiations with the National Labour Commission and government representatives regarding favourable salary scales. The academic calendar of colleges of education has been significantly disrupted, with activities coming to a halt as the ongoing strike enters its 6th week. Addressing a press conference, President of CTAG, Prince Obenhema, indicated the association maintains an unequivocal posture, asserting their commitment to continuing protest until conditions rooted in the arbitral award granted by the NLC are met.
For emphasis' sake, I want to take it that the union wishes to notify the employer that not until the employer complies with all the outstanding arbitration award by the NLC, the union shall never call off its ongoing strike action.
Prince Obenhema added that the association will face the government with legal action if any attempt is made to freeze their salaries.
We want to caution that any attempt to illegally freeze salaries of our members who are on a legal strike shall be met with the legal action against whoever takes such, an action.
With uncertainty lingering around the timeline for settling the disputes, students find themselves caught in a limbo, waiting anxiously for the resumption of classes.
It's been overwhelming and heartbreaking, actually, to come to school for a second semester with the whole preparation to resume studies, especially this being second semester, and particularly for me, I'm a final year student, so I'm writing my exams this coming September. To just realize that our teachers are on strike and that they are calling for certain needs from the government that are not coming forth. Actually, we don't even know what to do with ourselves.
For Joy News, Nana Boache Dankwa Yadom, Komasi.
I want to bring in now the Deputy Director of the Ghana Tertiary Education Commission, who joins us on the phone right now, Professor Francis Nuno. Prof, thanks for your time here on Newsnight.
Thank you very much, and greetings to esteemed listeners and viewers.
On Monday, we saw your message to the striking teachers that their salaries for July will be frozen. Is the position still the same?
Yes, the position is the same with some explanation. We really sympathize with the students. They've been in school all this while, and we wish that their teachers go back to school. So we are doing our best to get them to go back to the classroom. Tomorrow we are having a meeting among government stakeholders and the national executives of CTAC, all with a view of pleading with them to go back to the classroom. And if they are able to go back, their salaries will be released to them. Actually, the thing is that in June, we wrote to the principals to take attendance of those who come to class and those who don't come to class. A few of the teachers continue to do their jobs. The students are doing practicals, and they are doing practicals and other things in other schools. So the principals and the teachers who are at school still doing their duties, and we have attendance sheets of those who are working, those people will be exempted. But those who have not worked all through the period may be affected. But we hope it wouldn't get to that far. So tomorrow we are engaging with them. The Minister of Education, Dr. Seya Educhum, has called the various government stakeholders, Fair Wages, Ministry of Employment and Labor Relations, the Ministry of Finance and all, to sit at the table again. And we have done this many times, and we hope this will be the last time for us to solve the problem, so that we don't have to freeze their salaries.
But the demand is simple, is it not? That pay their outstanding allowances and will return to work. Why don't you facilitate that instead?
Yes, it's been done. In fact, if you go into Gift Mist now, and if anybody cares to check, their one-time allowance, research allowance for 2023 has been processed and validated, and is in the Gift Mist now, subject to payment by the Ministry of Finance and the Controller and Accountant General. The 2024 book and research allowance has also been processed to that level. There were 3 reliefs being sought. 2 of them has been fully done. The third one is half done. They want to be migrated and to be at par with universities. And then we tell them the consequences, and it's a process. We first have to audit their numbers, who is at chief tutor level, who is at tutor level, who is at whatever level. Then we will be able to see where to put them on various scales, and then we can migrate them on the salary scale of the university lecturers that they are claiming to have.
So you say
and
that
is a process, and we have explained this to them.
To them, but fundamentally, it's about seeing is believing, is it not? It has been processed, but it hasn't hit the accounts yet.
Yes, that is true, and they are not the only one. All tertiary institutions in Ghana, their book and research allowances are yet to be paid. It is normally paid in August, September. But even for this year, we have done it faster. And it is at the Ministry of Finance level in early July, which is good one. Which is the good one.
So when will they hit the accounts?
Pardon?
When will they hit the accounts?
That one I can't tell. But we are fast tracking them, and based on the availability of national funds, it will hit the account. All the necessary paperwork, everything, and is in the payment system, the Give Me system, has been done. All that is left is hitting people's accounts. And we are looking at the situation of maximum 2 weeks, it will hit their account. So, well, in fact, this is processed batch 1, batch 2, and batch 3. This year we only had 2 batches. And the colleges of education, theirs were the first batch that we processed. They were among the first batch that we processed. And it's advanced. And we've explained this to them.
You've just mentioned that at most 2 weeks they should expect this in the accounts.
Yes, at most.
Okay.
I can confidently say that is, I said, subject to availability of national funds.
Okay. Thank you very much. And that there is the Deputy Director General of Geek, Professor Francis Nunu, for a quick reaction to what is happening. The National Labour Commission itself has been involved in this too, and just been joined on the telephone line right now by Officer Samoa, who, as you know, is Executive Secretary of the Commission on the line. Mrs. Officer Samoa, thank you for your time here on the News 9. You've declared the strike illegal. Already we're hearing GTEC say the July salaries will be frozen unless they decide to call off the strike. From the NLC's point of view, if it's illegal, what are you planning to do?
The NLC did not declare the strike illegal. The NLC, through the arbitration process, gave them an award that their request, as has been earlier mentioned, be given to them. Now, it's just a result of delay. So, because the NLC saw that the delay was quite, long, we went to court, and we are in court to enforce it. You see, once we are in court to enforce it, and as you said, it's being processed, we declare a strike. And the court said, call off the strike and let the case go on. And then we will still be on strike. So how can you be enforcing a case in court whilst you are on strike?
So it is illegal then? I mean, the court says go back and you haven't gone back.
That is what the court said. It's illegal. So NLC did not declare the illegality of the strike. We gave an award. And when there was non-compliance, and we went to court to enforce it, then they declared the strike. And the court said that the process is ongoing. So call off your strike.
Are you part of this meeting that has been called to try and get to the resolution? Okay.
We are not part of it.
And
we are only in court to enforce our award
on
their behalf.
And this must be paid by the government, by the Education Ministry.
That is so.
Thank you very much. And that there is the Executive Secretary of the National Labour Commission, Officer Samoa, guess who is joining me with the latest from the world of sports. Ms. Bao, thank you very much for joining me. What you have in sports, by the way?
Even just some update from the Ghana Football Association in relation to the upcoming season, the 2024-25 season of the Ghana Premier League. And they have released the starting date for the season, which is going to start on September 6th. The starting Friday, September 6, 2024, through to Monday, September 9, and the season expected to end on Sunday, June 8, 2025. But instructively is that they have also issued a policy directive that there will be no midweek matches in the upcoming season, and this, they say, is an effort to alleviate the transportation challenges faced by the clubs. Now, we've been speaking to some of the clubs as far as their reaction to this very policy directive is concerned, and George Mpe speaks for Nsuatreman Football Club, and they say it's a timely intervention.
Yeah, to us at Nsuatreman Football Club, I think it's really a pleasant news to us to hear that the FA has taken out the weekdays matches from the fixtures for this season. And it's a good news to us in the sense that it comes with so much stress, traveling long distances. For example, covering a distance from Nsuatre to Pando to play a game. You arrive at Pando on Saturday, play a game on Sunday, then get back to Nsuatre on Monday morning. Then you have another game on Wednesday. That means you don't have any day to train before you go in for your weekday matches. So it's really stressful, and I think it's good the FA has thought of the teams and has taken out these weekdays matches. Yeah, so it's good. We are really happy with it.
We're looking forward to the start of the local Premier League there. Now, President Akufo-Addo says his government is working tirelessly to address the housing needs of all security services and ensure they are well equipped to protect the nation. The president made the remarks today when he addressed a gathering to commission the 320 housing unit project at the police training school here in Accra. There's more in the following report.
President Akufo-Addo has commissioned 320 housing units constructed at the police training school at Tessana in Accra today. The structures form part of Phase 3 of the broad government scheme to construct units for security agencies across the country. Works and Housing Minister Kojo Oponkrema says the project is a testament of government's resolve to put state funds to judicious use.
In keeping fidelity with the spirit of the promises made on page 25 of his 2016 manifesto, President Akufo-Addo, upon the assumption of office in 2017, commenced efforts to expand the provision of housing in Ghana in general, and in particular for the security services. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, the resources which have been raised or borrowed by the Akufo-Addo administration have been put to judicious use in projects such as this and many of the other ones I'm referring to all over the country. And I believe we can give the administration a big round of applause for that.
Also present at the event were Interior Minister Henry Quartey and Inspector General of Police George Agufo-Dampare, who all lauded the President for his gesture towards the security agencies.
Mr. President, on your behalf, I want to urge all police officers and other security agencies to continue to work hard to keep our country safe and prosperous.
What a wow. What we are witnessing and seeing today is not the first. The first one, the major one, in addition to all what you have done across the country, is the Domi Kwabrenya one, which you commissioned yourself. And now, the second phase of that is also ongoing. And that is historic, and we will forever be grateful.
Taking his stand to address the gathering, President Akufo-Addo says his government is working tirelessly to address the housing needs of all security services and to ensure they are well equipped to protect the nation.
As we commission these housing units today, I want to remind everybody that this is part of ongoing efforts to improve the living conditions of our security personnel. We will continue to work tirelessly to address the housing needs of all our security services and ensure that they are well equipped to save our nation.
The Works and Housing Ministry says it is poised to continue and complete work on Phase 3 of the construction of housing units for all security services across the country. Blessed Ogan's report for Joy News, Accra.
In the related development within the police service, President Akufo-Addo has charged newly appointed Deputy Inspector General of Police, COP Christian Tetayonu, to work as a team player to enhance the efficacy of the service. Now, COP Yonu's appointment was met with some controversy as experts questioned the motive behind his appointment. However, speaking at the commissioning ceremony today, the President asked him to be a team player.
This milestone is not just a testament to our determination to improving the living standards of our security personnel, but also a key step forward in our national quest for enhanced security and safety. In so saying, I'd like to use this platform to congratulate that long-serving, respected law enforcement officer, Commissioner of Police, Mr. Christian Tetayonu, on his elevation to the office of Deputy Inspector General of Police, with responsibility for operations. I have no doubt that, as in the past, Deputy IGP Onu will be a good team player and contribute his full quota to the flourishing of an effective, efficient police service.
That's it for News Night tonight. Geek Squad is next, and Adobia is here with what to look forward to. What are we talking about?
Hi, Evans. This evening, we know it's the first half of the year, as in we've already done first half. So we are going to have experts who are repairers for tech gadgets. We'll have people ask questions when probably you're working with your laptop and it's slow, what you can do, things of the sort. So we are really expecting our listeners to stay tuned. They should call in, send in messages. If there's any issue, fault with your gadget, you want us to answer any question to, we are looking forward to that.
I have a question though. It's not what you'll expect in a typical conversation like this, but you know, the thing that you hear a lot when videos leak, you know, they say, well, I took my gadget to the repairer and that's how it got leaked, and you know, so it's not my fault, etc., etc. I mean, I'm curious to know from them what you do if you have sensitive footage or image on your phone before you say hand it over to the repairer. I'm curious because I hear this quite often in my line of work. You see the video, you see the image, and the first thing you hear when the person issues a statement is to say, well, I lost my phone, or I took it to the repairer and the repairer found it, and you know. So yes, I'm looking forward to that here on Geek Squad.
Couldn't sleep at night.
For bulk purchase, call 0302 681582. This advert is FDA approved.
Do you want a healthy smile?
Are you waking up with jaw pain and headaches? This is commonly caused by grinding your teeth at night. Hi, I'm Tanya from Bethel Dental Clinic, Ghana. This condition is known as bruxism or grinding. Oftentimes, people are unaware that they are doing so, but the side effects are visible and often heard by one's sleep partner. So if you're experiencing jaw pain, headache, sensitivity, and even fractured teeth, you may be a clincher or grinder. It can also wear down your teeth and affect your overall health. After a dental visit, a custom-made ninth guard will be made for you. This occlusal guard is worn to protect your teeth while you sleep to prevent further damage and discomfort. So, contact your dental office to learn more about protecting your teeth from clenching and grinding.
Healthy smile. Kind of way, tell us how the more money promo now.
Everybody likes money, but what do we like more than money? More money! Join the Telecel More Money promo and win money, more money, and even more money. Simply opt in for free and reload your mobile and broadband and be the lucky winner of the 1 million Ghana cedis grand prize. Also win cash prizes of up to 3 million Ghana cedis in the daily and weekly draws. Opt in for free by dialing *500# or send WIN to 500, or you can opt in on the Telecel Play app. The more you reload, the higher chances of winning in the Telecel More Money promo. Keep loading, win, and be a millionaire.
Telecel. Connecting energies.
Terms and conditions apply. This promo is regulated by the NLA on the Caritas Lottery platform.
The luckiest. Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. Doctors, nurses, barbers, drivers, bouncers, friends, teachers, bankers. You could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest. East, west, north, south, you could be the luckiest. You could be the luckiest. Accra to Haga. Let's go. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. The luckiest. Luck is everywhere. For everyone, yeah. Doctors, nurses, barbers, drivers, bouncers, friends, teachers, bankers. The luckiest. You could be the luckiest.
This Toyota engine is always grumpy. That's because it doesn't use Toyota oil. This is what it sounds like every day.
You really won't go now? Okay, make we try go.
And this Toyota engine uses Toyota oil. Listen to the difference.
Good morning, everybody. Is it time to leave yet? It'll be my pleasure to take you wherever you want to go.
Nothing makes your engine happier than Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. Because it's made specifically with your Toyota in mind, it will bring out the best in your Toyota engine. Toyota Genuine Motor Oil. Available at Toyota Ghana Company Limited.
June way dear, me ko Joburg. Me wia July, ma ko twa me ho Paris. August, na ma link me boys were London. In ne, me wia no ma back, ma be shema ho me na chese December dear. Ye kone ice skate na Dubai.
Aye, Kweku the traveler. And now ye Vasco da Gama. Usika bia ba ho.
Asamwa, na sama ka waka na ho asama kyerɛw.
Online travel agency.
Aye, omo me no odi ani bi o.